welcome back to another video. Today, I am actually going to talk about some books that I'm reading. I did a fun little intro because I have been in Finland for like the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying to film clips and videos, but I don't know how to compile it all together into sort of a cohesive vlog. I feel like that needs to be filmed separately from like all the things that I've been compiling. And that was just like a little sneak peek of what I'm doing, like a little video diary update. I'm in Finland. I've been having the best time ever. I'm visiting my girlfriend, if you didn't know. And I'm gonna be here for a couple more weeks, so I hope that I can figure out how to vlog. I feel like every video I complain that I don't know how to do it. And I still feel that way. Anyways, hey! Welcome to what I read this spring. I thought that would be a good way to like jump into things, is to talk about what I'm most passionate about right now, and that is, of course, always reading. At least I'm trying to make it something I'm consistently passionate about. We're working on it. So, starting off strong, I read Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I was previously a hater of this book. It was the first Sally Rooney book I ever tried to read, and it flopped for me. I barely got through the first 30 pages when I initially read this book a couple years ago. Picked it back up again. It is literally like my favorite book of all time now. It was so amazing. I wanted to read it because I read Intermezzo and I was such a fan. I absolutely loved it. I think she did a beautiful job. So I quickly wanted to read Conversations with Friends, and I finally got around to it, and I liked it for all the reasons that I liked Intermezzo. Because I think that she captures interpersonal relationships and connections and like these very specific niche dynamics and like power play dynamics with like weird age. Establishes it all beautifully. I don't know, I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and I would recommend, if anyone hasn't read Conversations with Friends, go give it a read. Promise you, it won't disappoint. I then read The Dragon Republic, which is number 2 in the Poppy War series, or trilogy, I should say. I don't know, I thought it was good, but it wasn't like my favorite thing ever. I did prefer the Poppy War. Like, I liked the Poppy War a lot. That was a good book. Dragon Republic, I think, was a lot of like ups and then downs, sort of like action, and then nothing. And it kind of repeated that throughout the entire book, that when like the final something happens, I'm like, okay. And I'm like excited to see where like the actual story ends up in the 3rd book. I'm still invested. But I will say, like, I do think that there's so many ups and downs happening within the book that I was bored, sort of. Sorry, I was bored. Boring. 3 stars. Hi, we're back on the Sally Rooney kick, because I then read Beautiful World, Where Are You? I could not wait. I was going to try and wait, sort of plan out my Sally Rooney books to be far apart from each other, but then I was like, why am I doing that? So I went full throttle, and I read Beautiful World, Where Are You? And I know some people love it, and some people don't. I'm a part of the group that doesn't. I was just having such good luck with Sally Rooney. I was striking out. I was loving everything I was reading by her. Then I read Beautiful World, Where Are You? I don't know. I just don't think it's very interesting. I don't think anything interesting happens. I don't think the relationships are interesting. I think the ending is fine. I don't know. I think the relationships and the characters, you know, it's literary fiction. The characters are the most important part, but like the characters to me were boring and one-dimensional, and nothing really interesting was happening. Not even like the dynamics of the relationship were necessarily like captured very well, I don't think. Like, I think sort of, but also it was like a weird dynamic that I just didn't really want to see be successful. And then it did that. I don't know. If you understand what I'm saying, if you've read the book, I'm sure you know what I'm saying. Or maybe you loved it and you think I'm talking out of my butt. But I didn't love it. I gave it 2 stars because I genuinely just did not enjoy reading it. So I'm not gonna give it stars if I don't think it needs it. That was Beautiful World. Where are you? So next I read The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I just recently read Braiding Sweetgrass and it literally changed my life. I'm not the same after reading that book. That book, it changes lives. It is so good. It was so beautiful. I listened to it as an audiobook as well as The Serviceberry. I listened to both as audiobooks. First of all, she's a great narrator. I think reading your own book, it's just how it should be. Because she's reading it exactly how it was intended to be read. And I loved every minute of it. I loved her voice. I loved the storytelling that she used with it. It wasn't just like, wasn't just like the typical narrator. I think there was like a softness and a tenderness to the way that she spoke. Of course, this is her writing, and those are qualities of her writing. But it all came through in her voice. So if you're thinking about reading a book by Robin Wall Kimmerer, I honestly recommend the audiobook. You can totally go ahead having the physical copy. I really want them. But, I also think there was a lot to like be gained from the experience of reading it as an audiobook instead. So if you didn't know, The Serviceberry is basically just about the gift economy and like, I don't know, it's sort of like, I think it's an essay, and it's a really good sneak peek as to what you would be getting into if you read Braiding Sweetgrass. If you're considering one or the other, start with The Serviceberry. If you love The Serviceberry, you'll love Braiding Sweetgrass. The blurb on the back basically says, a bold and inspiring vision for how to orient our lives around gratitude, reciprocity, and community based on the lessons of the natural world. Basically, it's a lot about sort of forming a connection and a relationship to the world around us, to materials around us, and to what we consume. And it like totally, and that's not really like the true preface of the book. That's what I got from it. Just saying, it's just like a lot of pieces of wisdom from somebody who was influenced by both science, spirituality, like indigenous teachings, etc. You sort of see that. It's beautiful. Love. Serviceberry was just like a really good sort of like synopsis, I think, to Braiding Sweetgrass. And I think everyone should read both if you haven't already. I gave that 5 stars, obviously, because it deserves no less. It's really good. Please read it. Really easy. Get some credits on Audible and get yourself... You can also, like, I don't know if everyone knows this. I was, like, new to knowing this recently. Through your public library, you can, like... There's this app called Libby. You can, like, take out audiobooks for free. There are, like, wait lines like there would be for a book. But there's an app called Libby where you can get ebooks and audiobooks for free just through your library. So that's a hack if you want to avoid Amazon. And as for what I'm reading right now, I'm like literally reading absolutely everything because I cannot commit to a book. Currently, I'm reading Upstream by Mary Oliver. I'm reading it. I'm listening to the audiobook for it, and it's not my favorite like audiobook experience, but I don't know, I'm like liking these nature books, and I feel like that's what I've been wanting to play as my audiobook while I'm outside. So like that's sort of the theme that's been happening. I could not tell you a single thing about the book, so I might have to read the physical copy after this, but I do think it's a good... I did just only read like an hour of it, and I have a couple left. I've been re-listening as well to chapters that I'm not totally absorbing, just because I don't love the narrator of it. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, but like her voice, it like switches narrators halfway through, and I was like, I don't know. Okay, that's me, but I wasn't a fan. I just didn't like her. Okay. Anyways, I've been reading these two books sort of side by side, going between the two because I'm just in a reading slump and nothing's grinding my gears well, but I'll show you. I'll show you. So for starters, I've been reading Northwoods a little bit. I'm like 60 pages in. I don't know, the language, the content matter, all of it is very rooted in the context of like literal like Puritan colony. That's like the first story and then just sort of like progresses historically, but I know that it might get a little bit more modern, but as of now, it is super old-timey. No, it's very historical in that sense, and I don't love that about it, and that's sort of what, you know, I don't know. I can get why my girlfriend loves this book, but I don't know. I'm going to keep giving it a shot because I hope that the stories get a little bit more updated, like a little bit more modern. I like modern fiction. I don't love things that are super historical. I don't love like historical-esque, right? I have a hard time interacting with that sort of thing. That's just me. And that's why it's been hard to read it. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. And then I also started summer fishing in Lapland, which is a book by, oh, dog is sneezing. This is a book by a Finnish author, and I thought it was a good idea that if I were to purchase books while on my trip, I would buy books by, you know, authors that live in that country or are writing in Finnish or whatever. So I picked up this book. My girlfriend's read it already. She read it in Finnish because she's cool like that, but I can't do that, obviously. But I started it, and it's cool. It's kind of fantastical and whimsical, a little weird. But I like that about it. I don't know much about it yet because I've literally only read about 50 pages. Not even. Literally 30. Why am I saying 50? Read 30 pages. But it's really good. The back of the book says that Lena, I think that's how you say it, has 3 days to catch the pike in a local pond or she and the love of her life will both die. So that's what I'm reading. I really can't tell you much yet about it. I know that what I've read so far is enjoyable. I like the little Finnish references in the book. You wouldn't find that in a book at home. So I really like it because I think it's, I gotta get up on my Finnish. I gotta know my Finnish culture and context. And I like the Finnish references. It makes it more fun to read because it's not like a book based in New York. I'm over the New York-based books. I'm over it. So I picked that book up. If you're looking for a book that's set in a country that is not your own and you are not Finnish, I would read Summer Fishing in Lapland. Or another one. Branch out. It's hard to find books that are like sort of set in different countries that have been translated, but I've been trying, and I want to read more books that are translated and from different places. It's more interesting that way, I think, and I'm having fun with it. But anyways, that's everything that I have to say about what I've been reading, what I am reading. And this is just a little video to get myself back in the swing of things so that, you know, so that I hopefully can like film vlogs like a normal person. Okay, bye.